Hello and good morning, Stephanie. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm doing well.
I got to tell you, 5,000 facts about animals. I am an animal fanatic. I study animals because I believe in totems and things like that. So anytime an animal is anywhere near me, I've got to look up their spiritual connection and stuff. I love this book because it's going to open up a lot of people to facts that they don't know.
Oh, totally. I mean, there were pretty much every fact in this book I did not know before researching it. And so it's just chock full of super weird ones. I could hit you with a couple of quick ones if you want me to.
Go for it.
Okay. How about a black mamba, one of the most deadly snakes on the planet, can slither faster than a human can run?
What?
There are ants that can explode when they sense a threat to the colony. And there is one expert who estimates that mosquitoes have killed about half of all humans ever born.
Well, we've got to go into lockdown then. Now that we've heard that, it's time to go into another year-long lockdown.
Well, fortunately, we have repellent now, so it's a little different.
We've rescued 9 dogs, and now I've had a couple of talkers that go, "Wow, wow, 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 wow," but a dog that yodels, I was kind of shocked about that.
Yep, it's the Basenji, a breed often called the barkless dog, and it's a hunting dog that originates from Africa. But a lot of people get excited when they hear about a silent dog breed because barking can be a little bit annoying. But Basenjis can actually be very noisy. They don't bark, but they cry, whine, chortle, howl, and yes, they even yodel. So if you're looking for a quiet dog, maybe not the one to go for.
Now, in doing the research, did you find that the scientists and those that are so close to animals, were they readily available to talk about what they have found in things?
You know, I think that is one of the biggest perks of my job to me as a curious person. Being a journalist and in particular a science journalist, it gives you this ability to call up whoever you want and kind of ask them whatever you want to. And so I've been working on a lot of dinosaur books recently, and one of my favorite people to talk to is this world-renowned paleontologist. His name is Steve Brusatte. He's super awesome, super brilliant, and he's also one of the foremost world experts on T-Rex, everybody's favorite dinosaur. And so I get to call up Steve and ask him all kinds of silly questions. Like I was watching Jurassic Park the other day, and I don't know if you remember this, but there's a sort of famous scene where a T-Rex chases down a speeding Jeep.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if that could happen. So, as a journalist, I call up Steve and I can say, Steve, could a T-Rex have chased down a Jeep? And he was able to tell me, no, that is not possible. And in fact, the fastest humans would have been able to outrun a T-Rex, most likely. So, yeah, maybe a little disappointing as an answer, but very cool to be able to get the answer from an expert.
So what about a black mamba? Can it run down a Jeep?
No, we know that for sure.
A rhino when it's happy. I guess I've seen so many rhinos in my life, but I've never been close enough to hear what kind of sounds that a rhino makes.
Yeah, and I've never heard this for myself, but apparently when they're happy, they make a sound that sounds sort of like eonk.
A backwards donkey.
There you go.
Getting young adults and children to buy into the world of animals. I mean, our imaginations are so activated with so many things around us. But what I love about National Geo is the fact that, first of all, the quality of the books are long lasting, and National Geo has been a part of our lives for so many decades. But how do you get people to say, hey, look, I'm going to take 15 minutes to an hour to really dive into this and learn something? Because I think it creates conversation.
Oh, totally. And, these fact books are really popular with kids for a reason. Nat Geo puts out multiple fact books every year. I think kids just really love having something that, you don't have to read it cover to cover. You can kind of just open it at random, pick out a few cool facts, wow your friends, stump your parents. and kind of move on to the next topic. And I think it also allows you to sort of find out things that you're interested in and maybe, dive a little more deeply. There were a ton of facts in this book that that have a really interesting backstory or more information behind them that, we're not able to fit into the tiny snippet of the book.
Right.
But if you're interested, you can go find it.
What kind of research goes into that size of the book? Because you're right, there is so much in there, but yet if you had 10 more pages, I think that to the average reader, that might be too much.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, you kind of go down the rabbit hole researching some of these facts and find out so much cool stuff that you can't fit in the book. For example, one of the facts in the book is that a grizzly bear's bite is strong enough to crush a bowling ball, which is really interesting. But that leads me as a researcher down a path thinking, well, is it the strongest bite on the planet? Turns out, no, it's not. That title actually goes to the saltwater crocodile.
Really?
So for context, you or I, we might bite into a steak with about 200 pounds per square inch PSI. A grizzly bear clocks in around 1,000 PSI. That's enough to crush a bowling ball. But a saltwater crocodile just blows it out of the water. Its bite force is about 3,700 PSI. So you could imagine the weight of a rhinoceros pressing on a single square inch of your skin, which is totally stunning in and of itself. But my favorite thing about this fact is, that in turn leads me down another rabbit hole. Well, how did researchers figure this out? Turns out they did a lot of wrestling with crocodiles to get them to bite down on this bite force device, which they described as a very expensive, very durable, waterproof bathroom scale.
Wow. You talking about the grizzly bear with that strong bite. All of a sudden, I think of Leonardo DiCaprio inside that movie where he takes on that grizzly bear, and I'm going, oh, my God. It was bad enough as it was. I didn't need to know that that a bear can bite into a bowling ball.
Totally. It gives you a whole new respect for grizzly bears.
So now, what was a shocking thing for you? What did you learn from this book where it's like all of a sudden it's become such a serious conversation piece?
Oh, I mean, honestly, pretty much everything.
Yeah.
The Nat Geo standard is that facts have to be weird but true, which really cuts out a lot of facts, because there's a lot of facts that are interesting but true, but they have to be weird to be, able to include in these books. So, gosh, one of my favorites is learning about humpback whale song. I think the fact in the book is that humpbacks sing for 20 minutes straight. That's totally amazing, but we don't even get into the whole backstory, which is that their songs can be heard more than 20 miles away, and they have what we would recognize as humans as hit songs. So all the humpbacks in a region will sing the same song at the same time, and over time, some individuals will kind of put their own spin on it. They'll add a verse here, a few notes here, and some of those changes are so catchy that other humpbacks will copy them. And before you know it, you have a brand new song spreading throughout the humpback whale population, a new, hit of the summer for the humpbacks.
Oh, my God. I know that National Geo is very good at keeping kids activated on the internet with information as well. What's the website where people, first of all, can get the book, and number two, where they can continue their studies?
Oh, Nat Geo Kids has a whole bunch of animal profiles that are really interesting. So if kids, read a fact about a species that they think is really cool, they should do a quick Google, see if Nat Geo Kids has a profile on it, and there they will find a ton more information and facts.
Excellent. Stephanie, please come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
Thanks for having me.
Will you be brilliant today, okay?
All right, thanks.